Hey y'all, it's Zooks, and this is Let's Play Satisfactory, where everything's made up and the throughput doesn't matter. That's right. It's like anything said to me before I've had a cup of coffee in the morning. It doesn't matter. Welcome back to the FICSIT Apprenticeship Program. Last episode, we went through a ton of hard drives, and we got 2 of the 3 that we were trying to go for. In fact, you know, a little bit of spice early on in the episode. Let's grab this, and we're gonna grab this, and we're gonna grab this. Let's do some quick 3-sec, boom. Hey, already accomplishing stuff. This isn't what we're doing all episode, I promise you that. We're gonna be working on the starter base today, laying down the foundations that will be here permanently. We have upgraded. We've bought our glass frames. We've bought our steel frames. We have a lot of what we want in our starter base ready. And that's what this episode's about. This episode's about getting our starter base started. It's already kind of started. But what we want to do is get some platforms done. I'm thinking this episode will probably get our iron smeltery done, our iron plates, iron rods, maybe screws. Well, we're gonna get those done, finalized, polished, ready to go. I think that's what we'll do. We'll see how this goes. I'm gonna cut out here in a sec. I'm gonna maybe show a time lapse, maybe not. Maybe we're just gonna cut straight into a complete iron smeltery. Well, who knows? But I just want to let you know that's what we'll be seeing this episode. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoy the base build. All right, folks, welcome back. I have got a ton of work done, and I wanted to show you what our iron smelter looks like. So come with me. Now, before we get there, I mean, you can kind of see it. The obviously the concrete around the edges are obviously not staying. Those were the concrete that were there before. I have no intention of keeping this concrete. Anything outside of these rails, I'm planning on getting rid of. I want this sort of to look like it's hanging, and so there might be some adjustments here or there. But this is sort of what I wanted it to look like. We got some concrete with some steel beams, a little bit of glass in there, and I'll take you in a little bit of a walkthrough, but I wanted you to see the outside of it. Pretty cool, I think. I like the I enjoyed building this. This was a whole heck of a lot of fun. Let me take you on the inside. Now, like I said, these outsides aren't going to be here, and I'm hoping to connect the platforms either via like a catwalk or a hypertube that would kind of shuttle underneath the platforms. I don't know. But you wouldn't, so there's not really an entrance here, but you just walk in, and we have our first level of smelters. I tried really hard to make this kind of neat, but, you know, I wasn't working with a lot of room, and that's my own fault, so I opted to keep it the way it is. I'll try. Honestly, this platform is going to be more complicated than the other ones, except for maybe the screw platform. So I'm not too stressed out about it. But yeah, there's 200. I'll have 270 iron ore coming in through this pipe. Not pipe, but conveyor. Oh no, I've already realized a problem. Right when I'm in the middle of recording it. Of course. I mean, I'm going to go through here several times just to make sure that everything is as it should be. What is this? 2, yeah. Okay, cool. That's a 2, that's correct. 2, okay. But 270 coming in here, going into 9 smelters, all smelting iron ore. Oh, I forgot to do the power. Okay, I'll have to do that later. I'm going to have the power kind of strung up on the ceiling, kind of out of the way. And then I spend this back portion of this area. This is where I ended up running out of space. I should have planned for a little bit more space, because I have some more space over on this side. So But it's okay. I didn't want to tear down the whole thing, honestly. It's fine though. Something I can live with. Maybe I'll tear it down and fix and make it a little bit cleaner later. But it's honestly sort of part of the process, because I had to get a bunch of different lines with different amounts out of these things. That's why you see this sort of mumbo jumbo here. I'll show you underneath too. But I wanted to show you, this is floor 1. And then over here we got some stairs with some glass so you can kind of look out. Here we got floor 2. Similar situation on this front end. Should have, yep, an MK3 going out here and then splitting a bunch of ways. Now, we're getting kind of higher up in these spires, and so I kind of wanted to open this up a little bit so we get a little bit of greenery in here. And it's looking really nice. Pretty good, pretty good. Like I said, haven't done anything else outside of this area, obviously. The goal of this area is to sort of be able to traverse there's a lot of goals here. I wanted to be able to take a factory cart through this whole thing. And so far, I think I've accomplished that. This is floor 2. Let's go up to the top floor. This is the top floor. We get another nice view. We're up here at the top of the spires, which is really cool. So we get to see these like green tops and then look past down to the canyons and stuff. Really nice. And we have our last smelter. Again, 270 ore coming in, 270 going out. And this one's all actually going to one place. But I've been using these a lot. These are kind of a bit of a struggle to learn right off the bat. They're pillars, actually, and they behave like pillars. Oh yeah, and over here I have a little walkway so we can get down and actually get onto these spires. I wanna be able to get on these spires from the base. I want to just be able to hop on there if I want to. Like up there, I might throw like a jump pad somewhere, like over here. That way I can just climb up onto one of these spires if I want. But yeah, let me show you the Gussy works. I'll show you how this all works. The goal, one of the goals, I mean, I had a bunch of goals, was to use these steel beams to convey resources on the levels above. So you'll see here, I gotta put lights in too. I need to write this down. I'm making some notes. Hold on. We're gonna do lights. I need to do lights and electricity. All right. But yeah, I wanted to, so like these steel beams are meant to hold up the conveyors, and so this is a line coming in, for example, and it's going to bring in or go here and then go up and under, so you don't have to see this traveling along the factory floor. And then here is one where from the floor above, all those iron ingots actually get sent to our iron plates, and so there's only one output, and so it goes here and it travels around, and then funnels into this sort of concrete column where I'm putting a bunch of conveyor lifts, and I didn't really want to see those because it's a bit messy, and I have another one here. And so that's what one of the goals was, is to try to keep the conveyors off the ground, so that I could walk around the ground without having to like slide underneath a bunch of conveyors. I think this floor is where it gets really messy. Yeah, right here. So we have one input, and then the outputs get a little crazy. And I'll show you why in a sec. There's one output. I think that's like a 200 output for some screws, for our screw production. That's like a 25 output. This is like a 15 output and another output. It looks a little bit messy. A little bit. It's not perfect, but I never claimed to be perfect. Let's go check underground here. I left a bunch of platforms here, stuff I had to use to work here, and I gotta clean this area up, obviously. But it gets super messy here. This is where I gotta bring in my ore. I'll bring it in here, and it's gonna get conveyed down the lines here. But if you see here, I got a bunch of belts being held up. That's kind of the point, the purpose of the whole thing. I want to show you this, I think this section. Yeah, so here's where I have my lines split up. I have sort of planned, I know how much I'm trying to produce out of the starter base. And so I know how many iron ingots need to get to each part. And so I had to sort of get these lines split up and sort of out here in groups so that I don't have to do a bunch of crisscrossing later in the process. It's easier to do the crisscrossing here than it'll look worse later, I expect. So we got 100 ingots going to screws on that line, 200 on this line, and 25 on this line. Then we got 15 on this line and 120 on this line. As you can see, we're getting a bit generous here with some of these clips. I tried really hard, but I mean, as you can see, these beams are not very forgiving. They have a ton of beams going every single direction. It's kind of difficult. The amount of, I think I've died like 3 or 4 times too. Let's see, where is this at? Yep. And then that whole top level goes to plates out of this belt. And then we got a 60 belt and a 20 belt that all goes to plates. And this is the factory. And the plan is, is to set up the next, I was gonna set up my next set of production, the iron plates or something, but I think I might go and work on the main base. In fact, I say the main base, the storage and hub platform. While I'm talking about it, I'll take you over there because I wanted to show you another thing I did. But I'm gonna take, I think I might go through this area and try to gussy it up a little bit, because I want to be prepared to convey stuff to the storage, and the storage is going to be here, so I want to be able to have this ready to go. Let me show you what I did too. So one of the currencies here that I didn't, so once I started working on the iron smelter, all my ticket stuff, my points per minute just tanked. And I was not getting any points per minute, which is kind of a problem because there's a lot of stuff in here still that I want to use, like these, the tilted walls. I want to use that, gates and stuff. These, I probably could have used these in that build, but I don't have the tickets. So I had to do a couple things that I wanted to show you. I bumped up some of my production, my Pescetti production over here. And I wanted to show you because, you know, if you're struggling early game while you're doing like builds and stuff to get some tickets, it's really not too bad to get them. And especially if you're working on some production lines, it's good to have something working in the background. As you can see, the Pescetti has gotten much bigger. What I've done over here, I've converted this miner into a miner Mark II and have it conveying out 270 items a minute on this belt. And similarly, I have iron coming in, and we're splitting this coal off. Half of it's going here, half of it's going to steel production, and half of it's going here, which is producing black powder. Black powder products are pretty good for the sink. And I had a sulfur mine over there, and I didn't want to, you know, we're going to need Nobelisk and stuff, so I decided to convey, I made that a miner Mark II and convey all of those resources here, so we're getting a bunch of black powder. And we've switched those so that there's a lot more pipes being made, because further down this line is, let's see how I did all this. Right here, we're getting, are you going to show me one being made? There's one. Nobelisk. I'm making some Nobelisk. I actually got a good amount there, but basically the way this works is like half of them get sent to storage. I think black powder is probably backing up at this point. Half of it gets sent to storage, and half of it is sitting here in a crate. And so once this crate fills up, I'll actually get even more points per minute. And that's really all I did here. And this is, I only did this, I'm gonna start moving because there's another thing I want to show you. I specifically did that because I was working on that iron smelter platform, and I was noticing, and I was starting to get worried because I had cut off, basically once I started working that area, I realized my production for those parts are gonna tank. And I won't be able to get points, and those were my main source of points. So I had to do something about it. I decided that I was going to upgrade is like I had gotten these tier 4 and tier 3 upgrades for belts and for miners, so I decided to upgrade my quartz and my sulfur setup because I was able to make steel, which meant that I was definitely going to be able to do some black powder and some Nobelisk and stuff like that. And those are pretty good point drops in my opinion. And so I came over here and did some math and figured out maximum quantities of silica and quartz crystal. And so we have 270 raw quartz out of each of these miners. This one goes into, I think, 7.2 constructors and gets turned and then gets eaten up by the sink. I have a storage container too, but I don't. You don't use this a ton. It's used in some like what recipes? I think these signs. Yeah. So there's not really much for me to use them for. And then here we got silica. And I actually don't even have this going to storage. This is just getting burned away in the sink. Actually, I do have another. I had to get another sink over here for the production. So I do have some silica saved. But all this is just getting churned up, which has sort of allowed me to keep building and not worry about my tickets. But I wanted to bring you in there. Let me see where we're at on time. I think I'm gonna take some time to correct the lighting and electricity situation in my base or in my iron smelter. And then I'm gonna go and take a look at our storage facility and make an attempt at, upgrading it to the kind of quality we want it to be at. So I'll leave you here. I'll be right back. All right, folks, welcome back. I didn't do the lights like I said I was going to do. I did the electricity though, and we're not going to have this running for a while, not until we get the rest of the production platforms put in, but I did get the electricity in. The lights just didn't look right. I've yet to really figure out good ways to use lights, so I'll have to practice that. But I have done a ton of work on my central hub and storage area, so let me show you that. Been spending a ton of time down here, and this is it. This is that big old flat piece of concrete. We don't need this anymore. Here is our hub. I wonder if I can get a better vantage point for what this is. All right, so we lifted it up and we unlocked those glass roofs, which is really cool. They look really nice, actually. The hub is on top here. I have it raised up, and underneath it, you'll see I have these roofs that these are, I think, the 2-meter roofs, and I made these the 1-meter roofs, so it kind of looks like it's like a latch that kind of like opens up. And underneath it, I have my equipment workshop, my MAM. I'll probably have a couple other things like a dump like one of these. What is this? Excuse me. A dump container where I just like put stuff I don't need. Maybe little bitty boxes. I'll put little this and that here. Also, I have glass floors here. This is going to be our storage for the starter base. I have it. Let me know what you think about the design, guys. I would love to hear what you think about all this. Honestly, it's kind of overcast. It doesn't look that great. I wonder if the sun, once the sun comes out, it looks a lot better. We're going to have all our parts accumulating into here, and we'll have easy access to the basic parts from the starter base. Yeah, and we have, basically I've enclosed these, so they have these, I use these slanted roofs. They're kind of nice. I've been trying to use these pillars a lot, I've tried to use a lot of these parts. I've never used, you know, obviously these are update 5 parts. So, and then here we got our little service entrance to get in here to the chest. What I'll likely do is just have the items sort of sorted and then come up through the bottom here. But I have 4 sections of storage that surround the main hub. And then I got kind of burnt out a little bit. I was putting down these large battery towers. I really love these towers. I was trying to play with the angles a little bit on the concrete walls. And what I've done is I've filled them with batteries. And I can kind of show you a little bit. I haven't interacted with batteries too much. At the moment, this one's at 7% charge, but when this is all fully charged, it'll take a few hours. It will generate 4,800 power, which is pretty good because I'm really close to hitting my max capacity. On top of I mentioned last cut that I had added to my sulfur and quartz production just for tickets. I also did the same thing with my Caterium production over there. But so if we go in here, I have this central spine with a ladder to the top so we can get a nice bird's eye view from atop the tower. And here it is. These were, you know, these take a long time to build. It's really actually not even that long to build these things. The problem is, like, I did that one first. The problem is coming up with something I liked. And it took a while. I kept building stuff, taking it down. Y'all will see it if you watch the long play. It is definitely a lot of work. And once you've decided on what to do, it's easy to just recreate that pretty quickly. But I'm thinking about up here having like a jump pad or something so I can get up to the spires real easy. I want a lot, you know, we're building between the spires a lot, the tangle spires, and I would love to just have little bits of transportation like all over to like hop over to a spire and maybe jump down to the next spire, like to another part of my factory and stuff. I think that'd be pretty cool. But this is what I've been doing. I wanted to show you this because I'm probably going to call it for this episode. But I wanted to show you I made a ton of progress. Before this, all of this was just a flat concrete slab, and I have done my best to make something that looks pretty cool. And mostly I'm excited to see what y'all think. If you think this looks good, please let me know in the comments. Things that maybe you change. I love working with this stuff. We're gonna get the sunlight here in a second. I'll definitely let y'all see this in the sunlight. But yeah, it's been a lot of work today. I have been building. My brain is fried from trying to make stuff look good, and I don't have a good way down. I think what I can do is one of these, and I'll live. Yep. But yeah, those are battery tires. The thing is, we're not really done. Obviously, we're not done. There's still concrete laying all over. I got this kind of mess over here. I still got some stuff over there. I had to put some temporary production down for stators because they are required for batteries. It's just like a container where I just drop quick wire and steel pipes into. And I think I did the same thing over here with some AI limiters. But the, should have seen that coming. That's all right, because our hub is right here. Oh, I made a factory cart too. Check it out, and I colored it. Update 5, they let you color your factory carts. I'm so about it. It's a little finicky. How do I just put our light on? Wow, it does not like being on the roof. Hey. What the heck? It does not like the roof, does it? Oh my gosh. All right, come on, guy. Now I gotta stinking color you again. All right. Let's go pick up our stuff. This is an emergency, so we need to put our emergency light on. Oh! I have been having a blast building, though. It feels like a completely different game. Whenever I used to build stuff, I used to be kind of irritated about it because I never really, it was not done. This game's in early access. It's obviously not done. And the building parts were especially not done. It looked real sloppy all the time. I did not like the building prior to this. I always felt like it didn't look good, and so I didn't really build a lot. And I'm really happy that I've got a chance to build for y'all. Let's see what this looks like now that we got a little bit of sunlight on it. Yeah, that brown looks so much better in the sunlight. I love it. I love it, love it. There's one thing too. Let me know if this is a bug or not. So these are concrete pillars. And if you come over here, you'll notice that these are different colors because when I try to, you can paint the concrete and it works, but it won't paint the pillars. Like it'll do the wall, it'll do the floor, but it won't do the pillars. So the pillars do not take paint, which is, I kind of wish they did. I don't know if it's a bug or not though, but I wanted to share this with you. I feel pretty good about it. There's not really much else to say. Just please let me know in the comments what you think. There's gonna be a lot more done to this. In fact, when I get off of here now, I'm probably gonna go sleep, but I'm gonna get right back to work on, because I'm gonna have another battery tower here. I'm gonna have another battery tower here. Over here, I'm thinking about having some, where I'm gonna do the sinking for the starter factory. And because of the amount of parts that we're gonna have, we're gonna need a few sinkers, and I kind of want to make it sort of a little bit of a showpiece, so you can kind of sit and watch all the items just get grinded up. What else did I want to put in here? I put some notes down of stuff that I might like. Oh yeah, we're gonna make a bigger dog pen for our lizard doggos. Right now they're just huddled up over here. They don't like me right now because my soul has left my body, but they'll like me soon. We have some temporary production that I want to put down. I need to get a hypertube station, but that's going to be a little bit further down the line because we're going to have, I want to have platforms. I got to figure out how I'm going to set up these walkways up to these new platforms and stuff. So I have a lot to think about, and I still have a lot of work to do, obviously. And this is really it for this episode. I want to thank you all very much for watching. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for your feedback. Let me get, there you go. That's a pretty good spot. Let's put, here, I'll do that anyway. And we'll do one of these too. So yeah, I really appreciate you watching. We got a ton done. I'm very happy with how much we've got done today. I had a ton of time to play, and I was able to get our iron smelter platform completed, and a lot of our work for this central storage and hub and battery stuff and miscellaneous has been constructed and set up, at least most of it. And I'm really happy with the way it turned out. Again, please leave me some feedback. I want to know maybe things that you think I could do better. Like I said, I'm learning how to use all these parts. I'm trying to figure out, did I use steel beams too much? I kind of felt like I did. I felt like I was going nuts with these things. But I love them. They add just a little pop of brown. Unfortunately, I got a lot of brown on the roof. But over here, you can have them. I had these pillars kind of going around them because it looks a little bit more like a reinforced structure. But do I not have enough? I want to know. I want to know what y'all think. Because this is, again, I think this is probably, in the game, I think this is probably my weakest part of the game, is trying to make stuff that looks decent. And to me, that looks decent. I think that looks great. It looks like I wouldn't want to change too much. Next episode, we're gonna be doing a lot of the same thing. I'm gonna get my other 2 battery towers done, and I think I'll probably aim to try and get iron plate production platform set up and iron rod production platform set up. They are not going to be as complicated as the iron smelter, because the smelter had basically 3 inputs of 270 ore and had 8 separate lines leaving in different amounts that had to get split and all this. And the iron plates are just going to receive 3 lines, and then I think it's just going to have 2 lines out, 1 to reinforced plates and 1 to storage. And then iron rods are similar, because I think they only have to go to rotors. And yeah, and I might even try to get a hard drive between now and then. The recipe I was hoping to get was the bolted frame recipe. It takes the rods out of the frame recipe and replaces them with screws, which is kind of annoying, but you also produce more frames per assembler, which is what I was kind of hoping for. So maybe I'll try to grab another hard drive. I know there's a bunch over in the desert past that beach, so I might go run over there at some point and just, snag a few real quick. We'll see. I'll definitely record it, and worst case I end up just doing a little bit of a time lapse or VO or something. But that's it. That's all I have for today. Thank you very much for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment, all that jazz. It helps a ton, and I appreciate it. Well, it's over. Yeah. Bye.